This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So we discuss about packages. So how to import one package in another package, how to import a class team. Just we have a syntax called import and Java resort keyboard, and what the package you want to import, that package and the class name. If you want to import entire package, just instead of class name, just to give a star, so that you can able to access all the classes in that particular method. Just import keyword and the package name and star. Right. So access specifiers. What are the access specifiers we have team? Public, private, protected,
Perfect. And
default.
default.
So what is a public range team?
Class, variable and method.
Very good. So we can apply these access specifiers in three levels: class levels, method level, and variable level. So if we apply the public access specifiers for my variable or a method or class, so that I can able to access anywhere in the project. So I can simply say, can I say these are the project level
Yeah,
accessibility
project
of a
level.
public access space? Can I say project level?
Yes,
Yeah. Yes.
What is a package level access space team?
protected.
Default protected.
Uh, sorry,
Default,
default.
right?
Default.
Default.
I have shared team. Right. So public accessibility. So inside a same class we can access. Inside another class we can access, which is in a same package. So other package also we can access, but you have to import it, right? And child class also we can access. Anywhere you can access. Let's say high accessibility access specifier is public. So commonly we are using this public access specifier. The project level you can access anywhere in the project, right? Private you can apply in a two levels: method level and variable level. If you use a private access specifier for your members, you can able to access only inside the class, least accessibility class level, right? And the next one is protected, right? Protected we can access inside a class, inside same package and child classes. Another package we cannot access even if you want, if you import the package or class. Default accessibility or visibility is package level. So if you want to restrict your classes or methods or variables to that particular package level, just make it as a default. Is there any keyword team default? Is there any
No,
keyword default?
actually. But recently,
There is no any access specifier. So if you default, if you remove, this is a default class. So and people recently introduced keyword called default, but there is a separate use case. Even you can apply. So you can apply here also default. This use case is different team. We'll let you know. So where we have to use this default and why the people are introduced this default keyword. As of now, consider without access specifier, there is a default access specifier. Clear? Now,
yeah.
so, and later we discuss about polymorphism. So polymorphism nothing but one in a many forms. So polymorphism of two types. One is a compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Best example for compile time polymorphism is method overloading team. What is a method overloading? Methods having with the same name differentiating by parameter or number of parameters, right? So if there is a method called a, so this is without parameter, I can say 0 parameter, single parameter, double parameter, triple parameter. So inside a one class, you can maintain any number of methods by differentiating parameters based on your requirement. Clear? Now, I have asked you one question. How this one? Did you get a chance to search this team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the answer? Why?
It is a typecasting, integer converted into character. Implicit typecasting.
Okay.
Implicit typecasting, the internally compiler do converted to integer to character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Naresh, Bhavya.
Yeah, same. I got the same answer. Like compiler does the typecasting.
Okay.
Where data type is large and value should be less, so it's
Okay.
implicit type. Yeah, according to some ASCII code or something.
Right. Let me create one more package here. The class called A. Right. Here I have a method called public void, just a method which is accepting a parameter called integer type int a. Right. So here, if you want, you can create one more method using double parameter. Not to be duplicate methods not allowed. That's why differentiating with parameters. And what is our main intention? I have a requirement to maintain methods with the same name. Otherwise, if you want, you can maintain different names. But my intention is I want to maintain I want to maintain same name. So if you want to maintain, if you don't have a requirement to such a way that, so there is no need of maintaining same method name, you can go with other name. But we have a feature. If we have a requirement, so that I have to use the same method name, but so I have to differentiate parameter you can use, right? And here observe by the time of, let me give a system.println. Is single parameter. This is double parameter. Right now, I want to execute a single parameterized add method. How to execute team?
By object.
By first of all, we have to create object class name. Object name is equal to new class name. So you can call add method based on your requirement. Now I want to call a first add method. So by the time of calling, it is asking you have to provide as a programmer. So you have to provide a parameter for this, right? And have you remembered variable types, team?
Yeah.
What are the variables types we have discussed?
Local.
Primitive and non-primitive.
Okay. Those are data types, Naresh.
Sorry,
Local
sorry.
and local,
Global.
global, static.
Global variables. Local and
Very
global.
good. Based on a position, we discuss local variable, global variable. What does it mean by local variable, team? If you declare a variable inside a method, that is acting as local variable, right? And if you declare a variable outside of the method or inside of the class, that is we are calling as global variable,
Global.
class level. In something you can say like this. Now my C is a global variable, my B is a local variable, right? Now observe, what is the range of local variability? What is the range of local variable? Observe here. Now here, for better understanding, here observe, if I want, I can use C. C is what?
Global.
Global variable.
Global variable. I can use it. Observe carefully. If I want, I can use B here. B is what?
Local.
Local variable.
Local. Observe, same these two things I'm trying to use in another method. As of now, let me remove this one. Just concentrate on the variables. Let me remove this one also. Observe carefully. So I have a method, add method. As of now, no need to consider this parameter. See, I have one method. Inside this method, I'm trying to access local variable B and global variable. So anyway, I can able to access global variable, which is C in my first method, local variable, which is B in my first method. Now let's move to the second method. Observing here, I can able to access global variable, but not local variable. Why? Already we may have covered this one. Global variable visibility is only, sorry, local variable visibility is only inside that particular method. So B is, this is a local variable to what? This add method with single parameter. So if you declare a variable inside any method, you can able to access inside that particular method only. Outside of the method, you cannot able to access. That what the meaning of local to that particular variable. Clear, team?
Yeah.
If you have a variable here, let's say int age equals to 100, 40. Now this age you can able to access inside this one, this add method. We cannot able to access inside this one because this age variable is a local to this particular method. Always remember, local declared inside a method, local variable accessibility you can able to use only inside the particular method. And without variable value, you can declare a local variable, but you cannot use it. You will get an error by the time of using. Observe, boss, you haven't initialized this variable b. Before using this variable, just initialize it. Line number 9, error. Clear, team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, observe. Whatever the variable we are declaring inside this parenthesis, this is also same like a local variable. Local variable without value. So this is also we can access only inside this class. Outside of this class, sorry, outside of this method, you cannot access. Whatever you are giving here, parenthesis, instead of parenthesis, so it is same like your local variable. Clear? You can consider like this. When we are updating value of this one by the time of calling, line number 15. Right? Observe. See, let's say if I'm having a value called, let me remove this stuff also. Right. So here I'm printing here. Now, so A is pointing to what team? Is local variable. Let's say, so I'm having a variable called A. Now, if I execute this program, if I call this add method, so what A will it will consider in line number 4 or line number 7? Let me show you programmatically. Now, let me create an object to access that method because it's a non-static method. So A dot add method. It is asking parameter. Now, if I supply 200, if I execute the program here, what could be the output? 200 or
200.
100? Why 200?
The parameters is passing.
Naresh?
It's updating the value in the time of
Okay.
execution.
Okay. One more key point. Already we had discussion on this. Whenever you have a global variable and local variables, by the time of
Yeah.
execution,
Local variable
always
is
priority goes to local only.
yes.
Priority goes to local only. Your local variable takes the precedence. Whenever you have a global variable, local variable with the same name, here, if it is a separate name, no issues. Whenever your local variable and global variable with the same name, always local variable takes the precedence. Clear?
Yeah.
Now, this one I'll discuss, team. This one I'll discuss. Just remember me. This is the concept we are calling as automatic promotions. Automatic promotions. Here, if you are here you are supplying a data type called character. Your char data type is promoting by program by the time of execution to next data type. Let's say there is a method here, method, what I'm having here parameter integer. Now here you're passing a data type is character. Now by the time of execution, so this program will check with, is there any method, print method with char data type. If it is not there, program will automatically promote your data type to next data type, like this. Let's say we have a method what team integer type, right? Now observe here. Now let me have a main method. Now let me call that method by creating object class name. Object name is to new class name. So a dot add method here. So if I supply a number anyway, so it will execute, no issues. So the type of data type is integer. Here I'm passing integer, right? Now observing here, if I supply a, so by the time of execution, so it will check, is there any method with a char data type. If it is not there, so it will check, okay, here we have a add method but not a data type char. Here there is a one more data type integer, and there is a matching team in a Java. Observe the matching here. So if you are passing a value called byte, it will automatically convert to short. If you are passing a short, it is automatically convert to int. If you are passing a int, if there is no int found, it will automatically promote to long. And next, float, double. Observe here. Now here, it will execute and give a output. So this is a ASCII value team. The capital A of ASCII value is 65. So I expected this question by the time of data types. If you practice, you will get this question. Why it is giving you 65? Okay. Now observe. So here we are using a char. Char is automatically promote to my integer type team. If you are using a char, it will automatically promote to integer type. So let's say observe. So here this is a float. Here I am supplying integer type, single number. Observe 1000. Am I passing any integral values? 0.00? No, right? Observe the output. By the time I'm executing, program will check for add method with integer. Here there is no add method with integer. So there is a method, add method with float. Here the program automatically promote your data type into integer to long. There is no long again. There is a float. Clear team? Just practice on this. Just have a knowledge on this. Automatic permission. Okay. Anyway, we'll discuss one more time. So after discussing a method overriding. Okay. Automatic promotions. Program automatically promote your data type to next data type following this order. If you are passing a byte, it will search for a byte. If there is no byte, so promote to short. If there is no short, promote to int. If there is no int, promote to long. If there is no long, promote to float, and then double. If you are passing character, there is no any character, so follow this order: int, long, float, double. Creating automatic promotion. Right. Now let's discuss about Runtime polymorphism. Before runtime polymorphism, let me discuss about return time. Right. Now observe team. So just I am creating a method. What is the syntax of method team?
Access modifier,
Access specifier, return type,
return type, method
method
name,
name, parentheses,
parameter.
method starting, method ending. Observe team, this method blocks, flower basis we are calling as a method body, class body, method body. Right now, access specifiers. Already we have a good clarity on access specifiers. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Harish?
Yes.
Harish, not getting. Is that mic issue or you're not saying anything?
Yeah, I'm clear.
Thanks. Okay.
I can.
So, yeah, okay. So access specifier, already we have a good clarity on access specifiers. We have a access specifiers, public, private, protected, default, and static is also a type of access specifier team. But static case is different. When we have to go for a static team,
If the if variable having same value,
mhm,
then we have to go for static. And yeah, memory allocation,
mhm.
same memory. If variables
I
having same value.
really confused. What is your answer? If variable,
If there are many variables having same value, then we need to go for static.
okay, fine. If there is a value, if it is not changing object to object, go for a
Yeah.
static. Right? If it is changing object to object, go for a non-static. Right, team? Now, already we have a good clarity on public, private, protected, default, and static. Now, so most of it will take public only. Now, the syntax of method is public, access specifier, one of the access specifier public, return type, and method name. So this is access specifier. Already we know this is return type. This is we are discussing now, and this is my method name. Now, observing. So let's say this is a method int a comma int b, like a local variables. Inside this one, I want to do a addition operation under system.out.println. Right? Observe carefully. A plus b. How to execute this team? So we should have a main method. So create object equals to new class name a dot add pass a value, pass b value. You will get an output. So for better understanding result. Right? Observing. Sorry. Okay, we'll get a addition. After addition, what is the result? We'll get here. Now observe. I want to do a one more operation here. Now observe, if you want directly, you can use under system.out.println. But here my intention is I want to use one more operation. I want to do one more operation here. So a plus b, line number 6. Why I'm getting error, team?
Value storing the value in variable.
So here, whenever you call a variable, or if you call it directly using object reference, using a class name reference, how to call a variable, team? How can we access a variable? So one is using object reference. Let's say if it is having here int age equals to 100, so one way is you can call using object reference AR age. This is calling through object reference. So and if it is a static, you can call through calling using class name reference, or else you can call directly like this a. But so whatever the way you are calling variable, so always variable holding some value. Whenever you call a variable, it's always coming with some value. You have to store it into one more value. Otherwise, you will get a error like this. You have to store it into one more variable. But observe here I am using addition operation. So value a and b are numbers. I am doing addition operation. So this is a number, this is also number. After addition operation, that's also be a number. So that you have to store it into one more variable based on a data type. Observe result. So a plus b, I'm storing into one more variable. Here I'm printing that result. No confusion, right? As of now?
Yeah.
Observe. Now let me do one more step ahead. Here I want to get that result. Here I want to get in a line number 12 here. Here I want to get whatever the result there it is calculating. I want to get in line number 12. Right? So why? So after whatever the result it is providing, so I want to do one more operation. Let's say I want to add one more 300 value or 500 to this result value. So you may ask a question, why don't you add a value, or why don't you do a second operation here only? But I have a requirement. I want to do in this inside a method, main method, not here. So if you have such type of requirement team, after your method execution, if you want to return a values, you can return by using a special designed keyword in a Java called return. Using a return keyword, you can return any value from a method. Clear? So as of now, return type of this method is void t. Void nothing but null here. As of now, after execution, this method is not returning anything. Right? Now observe. Now after the execution, this result I can return to another method or another location like this. So end of your method, just say the keyword called return. What you want to return? I want to return result variable semicolon. Observe, whenever I say return result, here I am getting error line number 10. Observe the error by moving cursor. What it is saying, team?
Change method return type to int.
Can't return a value.
Change method return type to int. What
Void
it is
is
saying?
anything,
So
right?
your see, boss, you are trying to return a data type integer here, but your method syntax is void. So that should be integer. Change method return type to integer. Let's say click on first method, observe line number 6 of my method syntax. Observe team. Now void changing to integer type. Always your method return type should match with your return statement. Here, what I am returning here, I am returning a integer type. Your method return type should be integer. Otherwise, it will get you will get an error. Right? Now observe. Let me change it to void again. Now observe team. Let me comment out as of now this one. Now here I'm having this method. I'm calling into line number 13, passing 100 and 200. Now if you move cursor to the method, what it is saying team?
Void
Void boss.
com.
The method there is a void. The return the method there is an add method from where com dot test dot a class.
Yeah.
Observe com dot test. This is a package. Under this package, there is a method called, there is a class called A. Inside a class A, there is a method called add. Inside this add method, we have there is a parameters A and B. And the return type of method is void return type. That is not written anything. Now, if you have a return statement, now observe, I'm changing my return type to method return type to integer. Now observe this time, that method return type updated to integer.
Yeah.
If it is returning a value, whenever you call a method, if the method returning a value, you can store it into data type. Observing. So this add method returning integer type, you can store it into integer. If you want, you can print it here. Observing that as of now, let me comment out here. See, I am trying to get a value after addition of this one. For better understanding, observe this one. Now pass this time 300, 500. Observe. Run as Java application 800. So return is a special keyword in a Java. By using a return keyword, you can return values. You can return any data type, right? Always your method syntax should match with your method return type. Return data type actually. Clear team?
Yeah.
Yes.
And where you have to maintain this return statementing, always your return statement should last of your method code. It should be end of your code. Otherwise, it will get error. Observing. So here I want to maintain a statement. You will get error. After return statement, you should not maintain any keyword, any code. Return statement should be end of your method. Clear team?
Yeah.
Now let me have one method. Public void, let's say return name. Let's say string name equals to something. Yeah. right? Observing. If you want, you can return name. Return what variable you want to return. Why I'm getting error team here? Line number 13.
The
Void
return type
return type
Return type.
string
It should be
should
what?
be string.
It should be string. So always your return type should match with returning variable data type. Otherwise, you will get an error. Always return keyword should be end of your method. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And observe here. Let me have one more example. Public void return char. Observe. See, if you want, you can declare like if you can return like this team, storing into a variable or returning a variable, or directly you can return like this without storing a variable. Observe. Return yeah. This is allowed. Without reference, directly I'm returning a value. If you want, you can return. Why I'm getting error?
Return type.
Character
Void.
Return type should be
type
char.
should be char.
Observing. Return type should be char here. Actually, I have to maintain a char, but about data type of the returning data type that's allowed. Again, automatic promotions in return type. Any confusion, team? Actually, if you
No.
want, you can maintain
No.
same data type, no issues. But even if you maintain other data type, which is higher one, so it won't get any issue. So integer is higher than char, right?
Yes.
No issues.
Yeah.
Observe here. Wait, I'll give you an example of this one. So go to this one, integer, right? Now observing. So if you want, you can maintain higher data type. Now let me have a higher data type float. Actually, I'm returning what? Integer type. Yes,
Int.
sir.
Yes.
Now observe. Let
Yeah.
me change this float to observe. Getting error because see, higher data type can hold lower one. This float or a double can hold previous one. In this example, what I'm taking team, I'm taking a float. Float can hold integer type, but byte cannot hold integer one. Bigger one can hold lower one. Automatic promotion. Observe here. So here I am returning integer type, but my return type is void. Either it should be integer or above integer. Getting what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should
Yeah,
be
yeah.
same data type or higher data type.
Higher.
Automatic promotions, always remember either by the time of supplying a values or by the time of returning a values. So it should be same data type or higher data type. So people will ask you same like this team. So they'll ask you same like this. They'll give a syntax. Here they'll provide a float and they'll ask you, so is this program will execute or not? So will you get a compile time error or runtime error or output? If you output, what is the output? Don't confuse. So always remember, check before the execution, check is there any automatic promotion. Simply they'll give you syntax like this. So this is some code, right? Here they'll give a return 1000, right? Now here they'll give float. So by seeing the syntax, so you may confuse like this. Okay, here he is returning a float, but so returning a normal number. There is no points. So if you don't need this concept, you may consider like this. You may consider, okay, here the programmer not supplying the points. This maybe leads to some error, but actually not. So it will by default it will consider integer type, and so integer this is below this float, right? Now it will automatically promote to float and consider the float. So float can hold integer types. Clear, team?
Yeah. Clear.
Now,
Yeah.
so by using a return statement, what you can return, team?
An integer or string, anything.
By using return statement, you can return numbers, you can return you can return byte, short, int, long, float, double, even boolean also. If you want,
Yeah.
even you can return a boolean like this. So public void yes or no. Just return directly. You can return boolean, team. So I'm returning true, so, which is boolean return type. So change method return type to boolean. Boolean can hold either true or false. We can return byte, short, int, long, float, double. And have you remember, team, at the time of data types, we discussed what we discussed. Observe primitive data types, non-primitive data types. Under non-primitive, we discussed char, boolean, right, and string, and also we discussed we haven't given here. There is a one more type called reference string. Object, or you can say reference. Now let's discuss about this reference. So let me have a class called test class. In this test class, there is a method called public void test method. Yes, you can give any method name, print name. Okay. So generally, so you can print a name. So what are the name it will be? Just say you could print a name. So generally, how will you execute this method team, which is a non-static?
By creating object.
By creating object. Where we have to create object? Main method. Take a main method.
In main method.
Follow the syntax of object creation. Class name, object name is equal to new class name, and then using that object reference, you can call a method. That's it. Already we know this is nothing new, nothing great, right? Now, see variables, data types we have seen primitive data types, non-primitive data types. Under non-primitive data types, there is a one more type called object type or reference type. So this is also a considering like a one variability. This is also considering just like a variable. See, observe here. So int a equals to 100. Same like you can have to consider like this. So 100 is nothing but it's just like a value. So this is also a reference. So here like e here, this is a data type, and this is a class type team. Here t is a object of test class, and this is the value, and this is a test type. This object is what type team? Test type. What are the rules we are following for a variable? Same you have to follow for a object type. Clear? And even if you want, you can return a values by your returning statement, and also you can return an objective. Observe here. I am creating a method public void return test type. Nothing but this class type. So this thing I am doing under here in this method. So what is the main intention of my method team? This one, first of all, create object test type, and then in a second step, so this is the first step, it will create object of what class team? Test class, test type, and after that just return this class object. Now why we have to return, we'll discuss, no worries. Okay, now return by using a keyword called return statement. Returning what here? T here. Now what is a T here? Test class object. Now your return type should be test type. Observe. Now I'm changing my void to test here. Create object of test type, and step 2 here, what I'm doing here? Return object. Any confusion team?
No.
Right? And further, if you want, you can call this method. So every time this method, it will create object of this class. Whenever this method will execute, it will create object and will return in the form of test type. Why we have to follow this type? Why one object has to return class object type? We'll discuss. No worries. A special use case we'll discuss. There is a concept called singleton design pattern team. Singleton design pattern. See, let's say you have a class and you need to execute that class method in 100 classes. Observe my use case. So I have this class. Inside this class, there is a methods and variables. So I want to use this, I want to execute this class methods and variables in n number of classes. Each time what I have to do, team?
We have to call that method.
How to call?
The object
Object.
creation or class
Mhm.
reference depends upon method.
Exactly. If it is static, we can call by using class name reference, static way. If it is a non-static, obviously we have to go for a object, right? Now, every time creating object, calling the method, creating object, calling the method. So this is not a good practice, team. Let's consider there are 1,000 classes. How many times you have to create object for this class? 1,000 times. That's not a good practice, right? So to avoid that one, people have come up with some solution. That solution called singleton design pattern. Singleton design pattern nothing but people will set up one condition. We'll discuss how to set up condition after discussing a conditional statement. Just every time, whenever you call one method of this class, so here they'll maintain one method, return object. So what this method action, so whenever you call return object, every time this method will return this class object. Let's say this class name is A. Every time this method will create object of this class and returning to so and so class wherever you require. But before that it will check. Before that it will check whether this class object is already there. Just return existing object. If it is not there, create a new object. Getting what I'm trying to say? Throughout the
Yeah.
project, I would like to maintain only one class, only one object for this class. That thing you can achieve by private access specifiers and return type and condition statements. We'll discuss, no worry, we'll discuss. Okay, so as of now, just try to follow only this thing. So we are returning this class object using the method. Wherever you want of this class method, just call this method. It will create object returning this class object. Now by using return statement, what we can return, team? What we can return by using return statement?
You can return in all data types like int, byte, short, boolean, and object.
So by using return statement, we can return all data types and objects, right? So what is the keyword we have to use, team, for returning?
Return.
Return keyword. Right now, so where we have to maintain return keyword?
End of the method.
Very good. And always method return type should match with
Data type.
return value data type. Okay, or is this statement correct?
No, if we don't want to return anything, we should
So
use void.
always
If you want to
the method return type should match with return value data type. Or if you don't want to return anything, that should be void, right?
Yes.
yeah,
What is the main method return type?
Void.
Void, right? So it won't
Yes.
return anything.
yeah,
And remember, team should not say 0. In Java,
null.
0 also we have some value.
Okay.
Should not say 0, main method return 0, or void equals to 0. Void nothing but nothing. There is no any value. Or in a Java, for 0 also we have value. Okay, so after the execution, main method, it won't return anything. Okay, so what is the syntax of main method, team? Public. Why public? To
Public
access in anywhere. Static.
access
Why
to
static?
everything.
Static members ready to execute by the time of class loading, right? And return type. What is the return type, team?
Void.
Void.
Public static void main string array box. This is the syntax of your main method. So public. What is the public? To accessing anywhere in the project, right? One of the access specifier. Public members can be accessed by anywhere in the project, right? Static. Why static, team? Static
Executing
member
static
to
variables
execute
and
by the time of class loading. Always JVM executes start from a main method. To start execution from a main method without memory, right? And return type is void. What is mean by void? Void mean by nothing. It won't return anything after the execution of main method. It won't. Sorry. After the execution of main method, it won't return anything. Simply, it will execute whatever the code you are mentioning inside the main method. That will going to be execute as it is, line by line. That's it. Main method won't return anything. And parameter. As a parameter, what we are passing for our main method? One is a string class type we are passing, and this is a array symbol. And this will let you know later. Okay. Now this is a parameter name, team. How we are passing int a, so this is a parameter name, just like a. Okay, now let's discuss about runtime polymorphism, right? The best example for runtime polymorphism is method overloading. Sorry, method overriding.
That's right.
Right now, before that, I have to say, see, so this what is this one, team? Access specifier, right? Here you can take any access specifier, public void product by default. Static is a static keyword. Void is a return type. Main is my method name. Yes or no? And what is this, team?
parameter.
Parenthesis, right? Now remember method signature. method signature in the sense method name plus parameter, collectively called as method signature. What is the main method signature team? Main string array args. If I say any method like this, public void, let's say my method name is me int a. Here, what is my method signature team here?
me int a.
Exactly. So me int a. So this is method signature, method name, and parameter we have to call a method signature, right? Now, method overriding. We have one more package here. My package name is D7. Okay. Now, let's say class A. Let's say class B. Let me remove this error here. Right. Now I created a package called date17. In this, I have a class called A. In this, I have a class called B. Right. Now, observe carefully. Inside my A class, public void, I have a test A. System.out.println. This is A class test A. Okay. Now, how to execute this test A method in A class team in this class?
Main and by creating object.
So by creating object of this A class, here first of all we should have a main method. So inside this main method, create object of this A class, class name, object name is new class name, A dot sta method. Nothing great. Just executing this A class method inside A class. It will execute. Right? So I want to execute this A class test method in B class. How to execute team? Same thing I have to do here.
Object.
Right? So first of all, create a main method like this. Right? So create a main method, create object of the class, and execute. Right? Now, I have one more method, public void test b system.out.println. This is test b class test b method. Now, how to execute this team test b method?
By creating object B class
Creating object of b equals to new of b, and then b dot test b. Now, so to execute two methods, how many objects I'm creating?
Two.
So can we optimize here objects?
Sorry.
Can we optimize the number of objects here?
No.
Can we reduce?
By inheritance.
I want to execute these two methods, test A, test B. For that, I'm creating two objects. Can we reduce objects? Instead of two.
Yeah, by relation.
Using in our time.
Yeah, exactly. So if I made a relationship between two classes, so I can able to execute two classes method with single object. How to team? Just here after your class name, just say extend of what?
A.
Extends A. Now Here, which class object I have to create? A or B?
B. B.
B.
Why
Child.
B?
B child
B
class.
Child. B.
class.
Child.
Exactly. So here B dot test here. No issues. So this I can avoid. Very good. Right? This is calling of parent class. Okay. Calling of parent method. Right. This is a self class method. This is nothing great. Now observing. Observe carefully. So already we know if there are two classes, first of all, if I want to execute parent class methods only, I can execute through parent class object. If I want to execute child class methods, I can execute through child class object, right? So if both classes are in relationships, so always inheritance ground rule is you have to create object for a child class so that you can able to execute parent class methods and variables, child class methods and variables, right? And observing, if I move cursor to this method, what it is saying?
Void.
Void.
Package.
Return type is
Yeah.
void. Coming from that package, so B class, observe. Void coming from day 7 B class. Inside a B class there is a method called test B. This one, observe, control click, navigate into this one, observe, move, observe, void day 7 class A, inside a class A test A. If you want, control click, navigate into parent class test A method. Right. Now remember team, for a class we can create objects like this. So first of all, object creation of methods. Sorry, object creation of a class. One is self-reference. If there is a class, how to create object for A class team?
Class
How
name.
to create
Object.
class name? Exactly.
Object
Syntax
name.
you have to follow. Class name,
Object
object name
New.
equals to
New. Keyword.
new class name parentheses. This you know you have to give it already you know, right? Now answer here. Let me have a method called test method team. Inside this class, I'm having a method called test A. I'm having a one more method called public void test. Right? Test method A class. This is test method in B class. Right? So this is already we know this is nothing great. Just I'm calling A class test A method. I'm calling B class test A method. Observe team. Observe. So this is an independent method. No issues at a time. At this time. Right. Let me comment on these things as of now, because this is already we know. Just calling that class methods. Nothing great. Right? Observe. Now A class A dot test. Now tell me team, here what could be the output? Line number 15, if I execute.
Test A
Testing.
class.
So okay, we are assuming this may be output of a class test method. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now observe the output. Just I have commented each and everything. Just I'm creating object of a class and calling a class test method as usual, because you are calling a method on top of this class, that to a parent class, right? Self class, nothing great. So what's the inheritance ground rule team? Whenever you have a relationship classes, don't go for a parent. Always create a child class object, right? Now let me comment out this one. This is not a grade. This is already we know. Great. Let me comment out this one. Creating object of a parent class. Now coming to the child class. This is what we have to know. Inheritance. Inheritance ground rule. Observing. B dot test. If I execute, what is outputting?
Test method B.
Method
Test
B.
observe. And before that, void day 7 showing from where?
B class
B.
test method.
B
B
class
class. Observe.
B class
test
test method.
B class test method. Here, whenever you have two relation classes having with the same name, if the classes having with the same name, always child class methods takes precedence. Now my A class and B class is the only method name is common here. Observe. Let me show you a diagrammatically. Observe. This is my A class. This is my B class. I made a relationship using a keyword called. What the keyword? Extends. Right? Now I have a method called test. There's a dummy code. Same method I have in A class. See, if I create object of A class, from where it will execute in A class, nothing great. If I create an object of B class, from where it will get execute in B class.
Yes.
This is also nothing new. Already we know. And here, what I'm saying here, method with the same name, or you can consider same signature. And here, object creation is of, as of now, the first one is self-reference. We can create object of a class using self-class object reference, observing. So for a B class, I can create object like this. B equals to new of B. This is a one way. Observe second way. I can create object of B class. Here, instead of B, I can use it's a parent class. Whenever you're having a class in a relationship, you can create object of a child class using a self class reference, or it's a parent class reference. Any confusion, team?
No.
No confusion.
Just I am creating object of B class. Always remember team. So if anyone asks by seeing syntax like this, so what you're understanding by using this line, just you have to say, so I am creating object of this class. Always remember which is a class after your new keyword. For that class you are creating object. Here you are creating object for what? A class or B class?
B
B.
class.
B class.
B class.
Always remember new keyword, nothing but you are creating a new instance. For what you are creating new instance? After new keyword. This you are creating a new instance or a new object that is storing with the reference of this class. So if it is not giving a error, this definitely this is a parent of this class. Here A is the parent of B class. Clear team?
Yeah, clear.
Yes.
You can create object for a class as of now two ways. The first one is using a self class reference using parent interface reference. Now if you create object like this, so here for B class it will create object like this team. Object, but reference, what the reference you are giving here? Your reference you are giving A class.
Parent.
It's a parent class. Right? Now observe carefully team. Observe carefully. So A class object, parent class object, if you call a.test, here what could be the output team? Now tell me. Why are you thinking that much? Already we have seen by executing.
Yeah, test A class test method.
This is executed from A class because it is a class, parent class, right? Now come to here, line number 18. From where? Very good. This is come from B class.
B class.
Now comes to the here. AB dot test. Now guess
A class.
A or B
A class.
or both.
B class test method.
Why B class?
The child class
Always.
always first
Okay.
executed.
Okay, let me ask one question here. Now let's move cursor to my first one. Here you are saying A class test method.
Yeah.
Showing from where?
A class.
B class
A
test
class.
method. Yeah.
Very good. Now move the cursor to here. Showing
B
from
class
where?
test.
B class test
B
method.
class. Very
B
good.
class.
Very good. It will execute from the B class. Now move the cursor to here.
A
A
class.
A class.
This is
Parent.
from where?
Yeah, parent class.
Yeah.
A class.
Class.
Okay. Now anyway, so already we know this one, comment it. We know this one, comment it. Observe the execution of this one. So by seeing, we can assume that so it may be executed from a class, or if you want to confirm, just a control click. Coming to where?
A class.
A class.
A class. Observe the execution. Wonder?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is what method overriding, compile time polymorphism or runtime polymorphism. Right? So before that, so why it is executing from a B class? Before discussing that, observe. So whenever your classes are in relationship, if there is a method with the same signature, nothing but here you are overriding existing method. See, second time in a child class, here what you are doing here you are overriding the existing method. This test method you are overriding in the child class. Whether you mention or not mention inside a child class, so here there will be a override. So same signature. So method overriding nothing but if you are not satisfied with the implementation of a parent class, so you are enhancing the method implementation in a child class. Let's consider, so why this feature in a Java, so let's consider, we give one example. Let me give an example. Let's say there is a bank called SBI. Okay, now my class name is SBI, right? Now inside this class I have a method called public void create account. What this create account will do, team? It just create an account. Now somehow, so people are not opening account in a SBI, so they are going to down in a business, right? Now, so one of the board members from a SBI, he is suggesting one extra benefit if you open a account in SBI, right? In that time, what the people will do, right? So they don't change this code. Let's consider this is online. So if you press a button, it will create, after filling in some submit form, it will create account in a SBI. That's it. Now people are come up with one advantage. If you create an account, so along with account, so they have to provide one let's say benefit for COVID policy. Now if you open an account, you will get a bank account and COVID policy. Now what the people will do to at this time, they don't touch existing code. They don't touch existing code. Simply they'll take a child class, right? Inside a child class, they'll maintain a same method, nothing but same signature, public void create an account. Here they'll do code for create account plus COVID policy. Here what I am doing here, team, just so here I am overriding existing functionality. Why I'm overriding? Because I'm not satisfied with existing functionality. I want to enhance my existing functionality. To enhance my existing functionality, I'm taking a one more child class and making the relationship. I'm taking a method with the same signature and overriding it. Now always we have to create object of what, team? Child class, latest class.
Child.
If there is a one more functionality, again go for a one more child class. Clear, team? It's a simple example, and I'll give you a best example if whenever I discuss one more concept called interface. Now you will get a good clarity on this. Why we need a method overriding? Why we need a override syntax? Why we have to go for a child classes? Okay, so as of now, method overriding nothing but so the definition I can say method with what? Same signature in, can I say same class? Is the syntax correct?
Yeah.
Method with same signature in two classes. Naresh, can you improvise this definition, team? Can you please improvise this definition? I'm simply saying method with same signature in two classes.
Okay.
No.
Different methods in two classes in different child body.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. See, before that, observe. Let's say, so this is one class. Let's say this is another class. So there is a method called as of now, or create account, or you can say add function, add method. Add method in first class, add method in second class. Can we say method overriding? Can we say method overriding? Always remember, so method overriding possible between two relationship classes, not an individual classes. Let me improvise the definition. Simple, anyway, this is a simple definition. Method with the same signature in two correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always remember, team. So if anyone say methods, what is method overriding? Don't forget of relationship classes. We cannot say, if there is a one class, another class. If a two class having a method, so same signature, we should not say that's a method overriding. Always method overloading possible within a same class, method overriding possible within a relationship
Relationship.
classes. Clear, team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the next class, next session, we'll discuss limitations and few more things about this method overriding. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Before closing, any doubts, team?
Yeah, I'm clear.
Okay. Thank you.
No.
Thank you, Naresh.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm clear.
Okay. Thank you, team. So we'll connect tomorrow, same time.
Thank you.
Practice.
Okay.
Practice. Practice. Thank you, team.
Okay. Thank you so much.